Well, it's been a while, but we finally got some Kingdom Hearts news. But not necessarily the kind of Kingdom Hearts news that people may have wanted. It was announced yesterday that Kingdom Hearts Missing Link has been cancelled. After spending several years in what could only be described, I guess, as developmental hell, the game is no longer going to release. Now, it's kind of a mixed bag. I don't want to say, necessarily bittersweet, but look, I'm not a big fan of mobile games, like at all. Like I played Union Cross, I played Dark Road, only because I felt like I had to know what was going on and to be able to follow the Kingdom Hearts story, which I love. But I wasn't excited about having to potentially do that again. The game did look different. It did look unique. I think the game would have been better off being like a Switch title or something, maybe. But, I do understand that mobile games are huge, especially in Japan. But, and I know I'm not the only one who isn't super fond of mobile games. I'm even less fond of important lore items and details being locked behind the story of a mobile game. And that you feel like you have to play it to understand what's going to go on down the line in the series. Now, that I'm not exactly happy about the game getting canceled because I was interested in the story. The story did seem like it was going to be cool, it was going to be interesting, it was going to be unique for the world of Kingdom Hearts. It was going to build off of the already really good story of Union Cross and Dark Road. But it kind of is what it is. I'm more bummed that we don't know how or if that story will ever get told now. Will they make it like a back cover type deal and just turn it into like a cutscene movie? Will they repurpose the game in the future and turn it into something else? Really don't know. But that kind of shook the Kingdom Hearts community, especially on Twitter. I mean, the Kingdom Hearts community is weird because, like, I've heard a lot of bad things about the Kingdom Hearts online community, but trust me, there are fandoms that are way worse. Some that come to mind are the Star Wars fandom, the Marvel fandom, the pro wrestling fandom, the Sonic fandom, the Pokemon fandom, and I could name several more. But in my experience, the Kingdom Hearts fandom is not as bad as a lot of others. We do have a little bit of a toxic positivity problem. We do also have a bit of a doomer mentality problem, where if we go too long without any news, everybody thinks it's the end of the world, and that Kingdom Hearts is going to get canceled, or we're not going to get any more games, or the games are going to end soon because Nomura is going to retire in the semi-near future. We have a real problem with like doomer mentality. Something goes wrong, we think it's the end of the world. Now, it's something that needs to be addressed by the Kingdom Hearts fandom because not everything's the end of the world. I understand a lot of people were excited about Missing Link, and it could have major implications for the future, but people gotta calm down and realize, like, look, these things happen. Games get canceled all the time. With years of development behind them. Clearly, based on the statement, they weren't happy with where the game was and where it was headed. They didn't think they were going to be able to deliver a strong, experience for the players. They decided it was better to just scrap it and focus all their efforts on Kingdom Hearts 4 instead. It happens. But some good news did come out of yesterday as well. I don't know if it was like an apology and they felt like, well, we kind of dumped all this bad news on the fans. We kind of need to give them something because it's been a while since we've gotten any news from Kingdom Hearts. So they dropped these new Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots, and now everybody has completely forgotten about Missing Link, and they're feeling the hype for Kingdom Hearts 4 just because we got a few new screenshots, and they look great. Believe me, they look great. I mean, look at them. Sora looks even better than he did in the initial trailer. Strelitzia also looks way better than she did in the initial trailer. Things are clearly coming along. Things are clearly improving. I think the most interesting thing from these screenshots to me is that Mickey screenshot. Looks like there's going to be parts of the game with playable Mickey Mouse. Could not be more excited about that. Does that mean we'll get other playable characters? Riku, Kairi, so on and so forth. Maybe. Maybe not. No one could honestly say for certain. This isn't the first time Mickey's been playable. But it is the first time in a Kingdom Hearts game that I think Mickey will be playable to this degree. Notice that his command menu is a little slim. His command menu only has attack. There's no items, no magic. Now, that could just be this particular image. The game is still being made. Maybe, they just haven't added anything else. Or it could be by design that way. And maybe he can only attack and platform. Because it does look like there's going to be some platforming based on the fact that it looks like he's maybe on a chandelier or something. In what appears to be a library. I'm thinking maybe he's in Scala. But I mean, that could be wrong. But that's just kind of my guess based on the little bit of info we had and where we knew, the little bit of info we had that told us where this game was kind of headed. Sora, for all intents and purposes, Sora's dead, and he's basically in the afterlife. That's the basic version of sort of what's going on here. It's more complex than that, but I'm not going to go into the finite details about what's actually happening here. Nor would I want to until we actually do get even more info in the game itself. But the telephone image is interesting. Look, personally, I think one of the most, aside from the Mickey, this might be the most interesting image in this collection of screenshots is this picture of the phone. It's just a phone. Now, Nomura doesn't ever do anything without a reason. We've learned that years of following his career. That phone, what is the significance of it? There's already, been sort of this understanding that Sora is more or less in the afterlife. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, he's dead. He's in the world of unreality. So if the realm that they came from is sort of the realm of reality, and he's in the realm of unreality, he's sort of on the flip side of that coin, which is sort of like the afterlife. Or perhaps something like purgatory. Not in a literal sense, because the realm of reality has the underworld in Olympus Coliseum. Obviously, that's where dead souls go. So obviously, this is going by different rules. This probably has a lot more to do with the nature of his disappearance, the nature of what happened to his heart. So, but again, without getting too deep into that, I know there's some lore and stuff, some old folklore and stuff about the significance of telephones, especially these old telephones, and being able to reach deceased loved ones and stuff like that. So there could be some significance there. I don't know. We also understand and know that Quadratum is basically going to be kind of like a hub world. It's not going to be the only place that we go. So is it possible that this phone serves some significance in being able to return to the world or leave the world of Quadratum? Or will it serve some significance in how Mickey or Donald, Goofy, Riku, whoever, how they will find Sora and be able to contact and communicate with him or reach that world entirely? The phone's there for a reason. You don't release these screenshots of a game as story driven as Kingdom Hearts, this collection of screenshots, and put some small little image of a phone kind of crudely cropped, so it makes you wonder if something is cut out of that image that would have spoiled something. But it's just kind of there, just a phone, when there's shots of Strelitzia, Sora, some combat, Mickey, these shadow-like beings who I'm unsure if they're heartless or some new enemy entirely. They could be something closer to pure darknesses. I don't know. They do kind of favor more realistic, edgy-looking shadows, like full-grown, not like Neo shadows, because the antennas are facing forward. They're not longer and peeled back. So they kind of remind me of Shadow Heartless, just obviously way bigger, a little creepier looking. So I don't know exactly what these enemies are going to be. Is the big guy just a more realistic dark side? I don't know. Possibly. But I'm just excited that we finally got some new info for Kingdom Hearts 4. Some new info about Kingdom Hearts in general. We've had such a drought, and I was going to make a video about this drought about a week ago, but some crap happened with my computer. And I just didn't get to. Fortunately, this week we got some news. Hopefully it won't be another 2 or 3 years before we get some real Kingdom Hearts news. I think Kingdom Hearts 4 is closer to completion than I think some people realize. That's just my opinion. I don't have like any sort of inside track or anything. That's just sort of the feeling I get. That doesn't mean I think it's like coming out this year or maybe even next year. I think by 2027 for sure. Do I think 2026 is a possibility for a release date? It's possible, but if it were going to happen, it would be, I think, near the very end of the year, like the holiday season at best. Realistically, I think Kingdom Hearts is a 2027 release. That I feel very confident about that. Now, if they drop a trailer and they say 2026, I'm gonna lose it. I will be so happy to have been wrong if that ended up happening. I don't feel nearly as confident about that being the case as I do it being a 2027 release. I feel 99% sure it will not release later than 2027. For certain. And I don't think it'll be near the end of 2027. I'm thinking potentially first half, maybe around halfway through the year. I don't think it'll be like the end of 2027. I think this game is further along than we all realize. And I think it's only going to pick up the pace now that they're not pouring resources into Missing Link. So it could be, silver lining type deal. But what do y'all think about the cancellation of Missing Link? I'd really like to know your opinions about that. And do you think it's a good thing for Kingdom Hearts 4? Because Kingdom Hearts 4 development could possibly slow down. It was our understanding Missing Link's story was going to play a big part in Kingdom Hearts 4. But if we're not going to have that story now, they may have to retool some story elements for Kingdom Hearts 4 now. And sort of rework, the plot a little bit if we're not going to have that previous understanding of what's going on. Then again, with Missing Link, it's not like it would have been out for super, super, super long before Kingdom Hearts 4. So I doubt its story would have even been complete. So maybe it wasn't going to be super necessary and simply would have added to it. Or maybe they're going to repurpose Missing Link cutscenes and use them in Kingdom Hearts 4 as story elements. Who knows? Anything can happen at this point. I didn't think, Missing Link was going to get canceled. I thought it was going to just, be a game that they were having a lot of trouble finding a place they were happy with it, but apparently they didn't, and it got canceled. So what are your thoughts on that? And more importantly, are you feeling the Kingdom Hearts hype again now that we have some screenshots? What do you think the significance of the phone is? How do you think Sora looks? Some people don't like the new design. I like it. Again, I do think, and Nomura has pretty much confirmed as much, these hyper-realistic designs, they will not stick around. This is basically because he's in Quadratum. I think when he leaves Quadratum, he will go back to that slightly more animated, airbrushed look that we're a bit more familiar with. That could be wrong too. At this point, a lot of things may have changed about Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe the hyper-realism is here to stay. I don't know. I think he looks great. I think the fact that his hair resembles what his hair was like as a child is awesome. Especially, it's kind of weird. Like, his hair has gone back to more like it was when he was a very small child, as he has gotten rid of all the hearts that were trapped within his Roxas, Ventus, so on and so forth. So it's like he's just purely himself now. Just Sora. There's no one else left in him except for him. Also, notice the hair clip on Strelitzia's hair is the Roman numerals for, depending on which way you look at it, it's the Roman numerals for 9 or 11. Obviously, if you look at it the way I think it's intended to be, it's 11. and Marluxia is number 11 in the organization. Was number 11 in the original organization. So there's that. But thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I made a video, especially an update video with Kingdom Hearts news, but I felt like this was definitely worth talking about. So thank you guys again. Hope to see you guys soon in another video.